Hey guys, what's going on? Today we're going to be talking about Guild Wars 2 versus World of Warcraft. Both of these games I have quite a bit of experience playing. I have about 16, 17 days played on Guild Wars 2, and God knows how many days played on WoW. Probably about a year, like a straight year, 365 days played on WoW across the seven years. I played it for 7 years, and then I quit for a year and a half, and I think the game's been out for, what, 8 now? The game has been out for 8 years, correct? I'm not sure. It's been out for a while. So, today I want to talk about both games in a comparison-like form, which is not really the best way to do it, but I want to talk about them and what I think about both games. So here we go. Guild Wars 2, new game that just came out, got fancy, shiny new graphics, a really good combat system with dodging and skill shots, and it's got this very different combat system, which I think is good for the game. SWTOR, Rift, all those other type of games that have come out, they all are very similar to WoW in the combat style. This game is completely different, and some people like it, some people don't. It takes a lot of getting used to, in my opinion, and it's still going to take a lot of getting used to. I'm not even sure what I'm doing in this gameplay right now. I'm sure people's play styles will really change over the next few years people play Guild Wars 2. Just go look at the vanilla WoW PvP videos. You see people S-keying and clicking and doing all this ridiculously horrible shit that, you know, it changes so much after a game's been out for a while. People start picking up little tips and tricks, and everyone's playstyle slowly starts to mold into something else. So, right now, Guild Wars 2 is really new. Getting a combat system defined and I guess all the kinks worked out is going to take time, which is why WoW has got a pretty good combat system. Yeah, it doesn't really change much, but overall it's pretty good, and that just comes with time along with everything else. That's what WoW definitely has on its side, is time. And with time, you get your engine optimized, you get the abilities figured out, and most of your stuff runs pretty smoothly because it's just been out so fucking long that I would hope it would. So that's one area that World of Warcraft kind of has an advantage in. Everyone is very familiar with the combat. There's guides of it, there's videos of it. There's not that much stuff that's unknown about World of Warcraft just because it's been out so long. But that's the one thing that's fun about Guild Wars 2. There's so many possibilities, man. You just look at your builds and you're just like, wow, there's a lot of stuff I can do. In the dodging, you know, there's just a lot of different combinations with Guild Wars 2. And I think that's good. I think it's very good that the games feel different. And I like going back to the WoW combat style. It was very refreshing to have full control of your character with the movement. That's one thing that WoW has over, I wouldn't say WoW has over Guild Wars 2, but that is different. With World of Warcraft movement, you can unrealistically move your character in all directions all the time without any issues at all, which is fine. It feels nice to go back to that super responsive controlling. But that super responsive controlling is part of the dynamic in Guild Wars 2. The jump back abilities and things like that would not be as powerful in Guild Wars 2 if you had complete control over your character. And what I mean by that, some of you guys haven't played Guild Wars 2, you can't strafe from side to side insanely fast in this game. There's a sort of a delay, and the movement feels a little bit sluggish when you're changing directions quickly. That's built into the game on purpose, I believe, to make the jump back abilities and stuff more crucial. So I don't know if they'll change that, but I'm pretty sure it's by design, because you can actually see the animations, and like with the Asura, I'm not really doing it in this video, but if you take the Asura and strafe him side to side, he sort of has to pause and put his foot down and shift his weight over to go the other direction. So it's different, and that's what I like. I like that the movement feels realistic, because when the movement feels the same in every game, that's boring, and that gives Guild Wars 2 a unique feel to it. And that's one thing I think Guild Wars 2 has going for it. It's just so different from World of Warcraft, it's going to be refreshing to come back to it. Be like, oh yeah, I don't have to turn my quests in, I can just queue up at any level to play PvP, whatever. I think it's going to be a nice little change. When you get bored of MoP, you come to Guild Wars 2. When you get bored of Guild Wars 2, go back to MoP. You play both for 2 hours a day. However you want to do it. I think it's going to work out in a pretty cool way. Now, right now, obviously, not that many people playing Guild Wars 2, strictly because MoP came out. MoP is pretty fun. It's pretty exciting. There's brand new stuff out. Why not play MoP? It's the same thing with Call of Duty. Mists of Pandaria and Call of Duty are both the same in that aspect. Every time a new Call of Duty comes out, everyone picks it up and plays it for a few months because it's fucking Call of Duty. You gotta play the new Call of Duty. That's the grade A game. Even though people love to hate it, it's just, I don't know. It's the proven formula that people always go back to because it's just fun and it's been out for so long. And they've got their shit figured out. So people always go back to the new Call of Duty for a few months. Then they get bored and they start playing games like Blacklight Retribution. It's a great game, but it's the same thing. Blacklight Retribution, great free-to-play game. Amazing. I absolutely love it. But when the new Call of Duty comes out, I probably won't play Blacklight for 2 months, but then I'll come back to it. So that's just kind of how it works. Same thing with Guild Wars 2. It's going to be one of those games you bounce to when you're bored, and then once there's nothing out, like right now, a lot of people are playing Blacklight, and not that many people are playing Call of Duty as much. So anyway, where I'm going with this is it's good to have another game to bounce back to when you're bored. And I think this is going to be good for World of Warcraft as well. It's good that World of Warcraft actually has some real competition. I know a lot of the WoW fanboys, Guild Wars 2 isn't competition, lol, but it really is. And the reason I'm thinking Guild Wars 2 is going to hurt World of Warcraft a little bit, and unless Blizzard gets on their shit and makes WoW a good game again, then yeah, then maybe not. But it's going to make Blizzard have to put out content quickly again. There's not going to be any more of this shit where Dragon Soul is out for a fucking year. Like, they're not going to be able to do that because people are just going to unsubscribe and play the free-to-play game. And I don't know. I don't think Blizzard is going to get hurt on patch day. I think when a new patch comes out, when a new expansion comes out, people will go back to World of Warcraft. But people aren't going to continuously pay their subscription fee when they're just bored off their ass because there is a new game to play. For the longest time, people just stayed sub to World of Warcraft because what the fuck else are you gonna play? Nothing. You know, even while you're sitting on your ass bored, sitting in Stormwind, it was still better than the alternative. But with Guild Wars 2, I don't think so. I think Guild Wars 2 is much better than sitting in Stormwind while you're bored. So, looking forward to it. Looking forward to some friendly competition and some good games, man. It all around, having both of these games out right now is great. That means there's going to be competition. There's going to be a little bit of it'll be better for the competitive scene because Blizzard's going to be competing with Guild Wars 2 and competing, if that makes sense. What I mean by that is prize money. Like if Guild Wars 2 puts up $50,000 for a prize for a contest, then that means Blizzard might put up $55,000, and there'll be this nice little friendly competition, and it'll be gonna be good for both parties. But I think mainly it'll be good for World of Warcraft, or it'll be good for the World of Warcraft players, this little competition right now, because for the longest time during Cataclysm, and you can tell, Blizzard didn't have to compete with anybody in Cataclysm, which is why the expansion was kind of shit. But maybe with Pandaria, and with them having to compete with Guild Wars 2, and apparently Aeon and Rift are starting to do decent now, I think maybe it'll be good for World of Warcraft to have to get back into the fight and maybe kick ass again. Who knows? But we'll see.